Bopping is in progress. By the way, you don't have to bop. Bopping is actually optional. Our icons bop.
We're required to bop. It's
We're required.
part of our contract as the host.
Hello and welcome to HR Data Lab's Brown Bag Lunches.
Lunches?
Lunches. Because I already
What do
had
we have, a
one
dual
lunch
episode
today.
going?
It's
Well,
like
we
Lord of
could-
the Rings, right? Or like first lunch, second lunch, first breakfast,
And by the
second
way-
breakfast.
Yeah, there's only one ring,
Right.
right? Now there's only one ring.
Yeah, one ring to rule them all.
Exactly. So it shouldn't be
But
Lord of the
multiple
Ring.
lunches to fill our bellies, so we're good.
It's Lord of the Ring. So,
Yes.
I'm your host, David Turetsky, and I have with me my best friend, co-host, partner in crime from Salary.com, Doy Brown. Doy, how are you?
David Turetsky,
Yay.
my best friend, my co-host,
Okay, what?
my guy that has difficulty figuring out singular versus plural.
I never have a difficulty with plural. And we have with us our friend and our partner on the AI front, Jordan Morrow. Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing super well. Doing super
well.
Absolutely. Why not?
Well, it sounds good. I kind of don't believe you, but super well. That's great.
Absolutely.
I believe you.
Yeah,
That's
see,
wonderful.
there we go.
You look super well, in fact.
does.
You're
Trying
just
to be.
The color.
radiating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
He's been
Well,
outside.
you know, I've got lighting. No, I don't. I could turn this on and make it brighter. Nope,
Oh.
we're not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I-
That's a
Sorry,
big
I got-
shiny spot you had coming right up there.
No, we're good where we are.
Now, do you wax that or do you just
Just
shave it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been told I have to wax because the hairs are coming through now.
Oh, the shaving doesn't work. I know.
Well, it does.
I've got to.
It does,
I've got to
but-
do that
I
too.
think Dwight
Hey.
needs to shave his off this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
I doubt it. He is
Although-
very coiffed.
Although I got to tell you the story. So I went and got my hair cut this past weekend, and the stylist that was cutting it, so we were doing our usual greetings, and she tells me, I am so hungover today. I just got back from a week in Vegas. Yeah,
You're like, let's
schedule.
reschedule. I got to make sure that you cut it right.
exactly.
You might have ended up with a shaved head.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Or a big patch sticking out, and all the rest is
Mohawk
shaved. Yeah,
without knowing
Hash
it.
shaved with some words in it.
right. Exactly.
Vegas.
Vegas, right? Yeah.
That one is second only to a pilot coming over the intercom and saying, "I'm still drunk from last night."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
Or your doctor before surgery being like,
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Those
I'm
two are
hungover. I'm
aligned.
sorry. Let's go. Nope.
I mean, if she was using the straight razor on you and she was giving you a shave,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd agree with that, but not with clippers.
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
So Jordan, as we do with every episode, we have to ask you, what's the last thing you did for the first time?
I have an answer just like I did last time.
Yeah.
I hired an agent for all my speaking gigs. And
Oh, sweet.
within a week or two, she had already I had someone reach out. She negotiated a much higher rate than I probably would have, and I was like, totally worth it.
Sweet.
Wait a minute, you get paid to speak?
I do. Wait, you guys didn't get my invoice? All right, bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that got lost in the mail, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I lost on my Vegas trip. We're good though.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be calling her after the show.
She's on like I've been blown away on like if you see my LinkedIn and my speaker reel and all these things she's put together within like the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
I'm like, so it's definitely a first for me. But I am looking
That's
at
cool.
this as quite a nice
That's
investment.
cool.
Yeah.
That is
Was
awesome.
Was it you who put that post on LinkedIn? There was somebody who put a post on LinkedIn recently that said, "Why would I give away what I do?"
It wasn't me. Yeah.
someone put a great post on LinkedIn that said, why would you ask me to speak at your conference and give away my product and my brain for free? My kids can't eat on free. It's something really brilliant like that. And I was like, yeah, you tell them.
I have a data friend similar, big speaker, travels the world doing it. And one time someone got mad at him and went on. Have you ever seen the Reddit, LinkedIn lunatics or whatever? It's kind of funny. And because there'll be people who do really weird, dumb things on LinkedIn. And I think this person was like, I reached out to this person and they didn't honor my request for like free data engineering advice. And I think this person, not my friend, got ripped in Reddit because they're like, why would he give it away? Like,
Right.
This is how he makes a living. If
Exactly.
all of us gave away
Right.
our secret sauce to everybody for free, we would never like make money.
I think that's the problem with
Yeah.
LinkedIn is that people feel empowered
Yes.
to ask for downloads. I know that I talked to one person who puts out a survey on technology, and all the time she gets asked, hey, can you send me the survey? No.
No.
It's not free. This is
No.
how
Yeah.
I earn my living. What are you talking about?
Well, and it's like when
Right.
it's a similar thing when I have friends and people that write books.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to give me one for free. I want to buy it so that you get your commissions and all that. Like that's my support. Like I've got people I'll do posts for on books and things like
Yeah.
that. Let's go get you stuff. I'm not going to charge for that. Those are my friends.
Right.
I want their message out there. But when
Right.
people start
Right.
coming and wanting all this free stuff, it's like I get why you would ask, but you also have to respect where we come from.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we all have to buy Dwight's book, which Dwight forgot about. Right,
Because
Dwight?
it was so bad.
No.
No.
But we'll put it in the show notes eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Jordan, let's talk. Today we've asked you back
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we left a lot on the cutting room floor because we just started talking about AI and HR, and we got through, and I don't know if you had gone back and listened to, but I did, and I know Dwight has. We listened to the conversation, and there's so much left to talk about. We literally just got through things like ChatGPT and talking about more of the what people think of as the kind of the consumer angle
Yeah.
on the newest parts of artificial intelligence. But I don't think we got into more of the commercial aspects of it. And what Dwight and I were talking about this episode, one of the things we were hoping to talk about was the development aspect of the new artificial intelligence engine. So
Let's do it.
yeah. So give me 1 second because this will be my second where I enter a promo. And now let's get into the conversation.
Absolutely.
So let's
Stop.
start, Jordan. And I think where we want to pick up probably on this conversation is I think, Dwight, the last time we kind of ended it, we were still talking about some of the more consumer aspects as we talked about
Right.
before.
Yep.
Let's now switch off to how companies have been using, especially in the development world, more of those aspects that are not as consumer friendly, certainly, but they're much more complex and probably even more lucrative.
Absolutely. I'll just share one right off the bat. Have you heard of Cursor AI? Cursor is basically an AI code editor that if you and I got on together, let's say in a room and said, I want to build an entirely new app that deals with CRM, and we work for hour, 2 hours within Cursor and modify, it's going to build it for you.
Wow.
And those are and I've got a buddy who is one of the brightest AI minds on the planet. And you follow him and he talks about it all the time. He's not hiding how much he's using this. And he's sold a deep learning company before. I mean, the guy's brilliant, can do this but his ability to develop what he's working on at his company, an AI startup, has been magnified with these tools like Cursor. And then when ChatGPT 5 just launched, or GPT-5, and I went to dinner this week, and he's like, boom, that combination with my use of Cursor and things just get blown up. So I think that those are, to your point, the lucrative side. You've got the masses, and that's when I say the masses, 90 to 99% of people don't need to use Cursor, right? But companies who invest correctly in the developers and in the engineers and the data scientists, and they buy the right AI products for the right use cases, can be blown out of the water. Because then it's truly what I've started to call, I've just recently started to create this whole new category around all this, which is engineered intelligence. And what that means is we think about the human in the loop. And I have my formula for my 5th book, which comes out in March next year, is data plus AI plus IQ plus EQ equals success. I've now changed that. I haven't emailed my editors this morning, and I said it's now data plus AI plus IQ and EQ equals engineered intelligence. Because now it's the creativity, the ingenuity, and the technical combining to actual outcomes and use cases. That to me is the power. And so it's a whole ecosystem of AI solutions at a company. Generative modeling for the front end users to be more creative, et cetera. Powerful developer tools that sit on the backside with the developers. This is just magnifying what we can do and taking us to places people couldn't do before.
So is Cursor, because I've been doing a lot on Replit,
Yeah,
basically
Replit.
vibe coding. Is that what Cursor is
Yeah,
also?
they're probably very similar. Claude has one, I believe. Gemini with Google, I think, has one. Replit would be one. I did find a funny thing. I didn't read the article. I'll have to find it and send it to you. But apparently, like, the Replit CEO had to apologize because Replit deleted an entire code base or something like that. Might have been at a client. So those are some of those risky sides. So let's talk about that for a
Right.
second. And there's a ton of lucrative benefit, but there could be, it's not higher risk. The way I like to describe it, do you remember the documentary called Free Solo? And it was the gentleman who climbed El Capitan in Yellowstone, or not Yellowstone, Yosemite, free soloing, meaning no anything. It's just him on the side of this mountain,
Don't give
3,000.
Dwight any ideas, would you?
Oh, well, so he likes to describe it. He prepped for like 8 or 9 years. So this was
Oh,
not a
wow.
run of the mill thing. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's called Free Solo. It won an Oscar. Alex Honnold is his name. But he has a really interesting way of describing risk versus consequence. Because a lot of people would say, oh, it's so risky for you to free solo that. He prepped for 8 or 9 years. The risk wasn't very high for him following. The consequence was very high if you fell.
Yeah.
So when we think about these AI tools, the risk of it deleting an entire code base might not be that high, but the
Right.
consequence is massive.
Oh, sure.
And so I think that the risk management side of viewing the potential revenue opportunities needs to be balanced, like a yin and yang, right? Balanced with what potential consequences or unintended consequences that are unforeseen by us could come into play. So ton of potential revenue, ton of potential opportunity, massive downside with some of the consequences that could come out of it if not managed really well.
But isn't that really true of any development opportunity?
100%.
You're having to create, and in this case we're using different tools, but you're having to create something new.
Yeah.
And you have to go through planning, you have to go through resourcing, you have to be able to have a goal in mind. And you also have to do all the hygiene stuff, like you still have to have QA, you have to have backup, you have to have DB people and all that other stuff. And Dwight, you may know this because what you've been doing lately, but you know, that's the stuff we're dealing with doesn't obviate any of that stuff. It still requires it all, right?
Well, so I'll give you my opinion. Like you said, I've been doing a lot with this, and the beauty of what's been created is the fact that you don't have to sit and plan all that stuff out. You can just go. You can just jam on this stuff. And I agree with you. You still need it, but instead of getting so wrapped up in some of those things, it allows that creativity to come
Yeah.
out initially. And then you do all your QA on the back end. You check you do all your checks and everything else, which I think is a fundamental shift. And
Yes.
one of the reasons that IT development has classically been a slow process in organizations. And, part of the reason agile methodology came out. It's like
Yeah.
you got to do more, faster, quicker,
Yeah.
cheaper, and the tools allow that. And for folks like the three of us, it allows us just to go out and jam. And
Yeah.
hey, I want a website that does X, Y, and Z. Type it in there. It gives you the template, says, how's this look? It said, great, go ahead. And, you know, this morning I developed a website. Took me 20 minutes to do it. That
Yeah.
was it. So
And what which
Yeah.
was that on Replit?
what's that?
Which one technology was it on?
Replit.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it was one of the ones that was deleted, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think he's on to something here because it's attributed now, whether he said it or not. When Henry Ford said, if I had built what people wanted, I would have had to build faster horses, right? And instead, transportation was the foundational layer. He helps create automobiles, right? Or at least the assembly line. The automobile, I believe, fully invented over in Europe, so we won't get into that argument. But you get what I'm getting at here, and Dwight's nailing it. That's why, for me, when I think of engineered intelligence, it becomes a whole new absolute category that exists in the world. Because we talk about artificial intelligence doing all the things on its own, that scares people. We talk about humans doing it all on their own. We know that's slow and not different. We make incremental steps. But when you combine it, you have a whole new category where it's engineered. And we should be thinking of doing things differently, not just improving on things the way they've done. The companies that are going to succeed in a lot of cases, it's being truly AI native and innovating versus adding AI features to old processes. And I think that's a differentiation.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, but I think to me, one of the issues becomes analysis paralysis, as well as trying to swing for home runs every at bat. Sorry for the baseball analogy, but
Baseball, you're good.
okay. But
Right
you know
there.
what I mean? It's if you try and hit a home run every single at bat, you're never going to win a game because you're never going to hit all those home runs. You got to hit singles, you got to hit doubles, you got to walk, you got to get hit by pitches. And again, if you hate baseball, I apologize, but you have to make incremental progress. And so
Absolutely.
And so you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You could disrupt yourself and say, hey, we're going to have this other team over here start something new, but you got to keep the lights on.
Yes. And that's
Most
what I
definitely.
would say is a part of an organization's budget should be R&D has been something that's been there for a long time. Do they truly believe in it? Because you can put machine learning, predictive modeling as a part of a business plan. That's AI. It's sitting there working. Generative AI here. Well, over here, you are constantly innovating R&D. Companies should invest in this. One of the prime examples of a company that has consistently innovated itself is Corning, which is a glass company.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, Corning and Steve Jobs worked together to create Gorilla Glass.
Right.
And it was more, you want something, let's create this. Flat screen TVs, probably almost all of them, Corning, because of the way they designed it. Tablet glass, all these things because of it's been around, 163 years maybe? No, more than that now. But anyway, they are fundamentally a glass company that incrementally gains. They built Edison's light bulb glass, I believe, all that. But they have a side that, okay, Steve Jobs needs something brand new that doesn't exist. Here we go. With the fundamental business incrementally gaining, etc. Yeah, completely agree.
But look at Kodak, look at Polaroid, look at two companies that were the leaders in new technology in the 1900s, almost the entire 1900s.
Absolutely.
They're both dead companies. Kodak just talked about filing for bankruptcy just recently.
It's
They couldn't evolve.
Yep. Well, and they invented, wasn't it Kodak who invented the digital camera? But instead, this is where the ability to, we talk about growth of fixed mindsets, all those things, all these things are buzzwords, right? Transformation, innovation, and all of it. It fundamentally comes down to what are we doing to continually pivot with what is going on around us and having visionary people that don't just sit back on and settle. This is a moneymaker. It's never going to do anything. Who would have thought that in the end of the 90s, was it, in the early 2000s, that Nokia would still not be dominated? BlackBerry, still not dominated. There's a great documentary or movie on BlackBerry, right?
Yeah.
And even the Uber series that on, what is it, Showtime or whatever, 8-part series, interesting to watch because you're always going to have those that push back and just say, we're good, we're making billions off this. And then you watch a company like Corning that is over a century old, still able to thrive because it saw this is fundamental, but now what else can we do with it? And I think that's where companies should be going with AI. It's not, I like what you said, David. Don't get rid of everything. You need incremental gains on pieces, but please invest in your R&D so that they can actually do things.
Yeah. You can kind of use the beauty of AI is you can use it to kind of tinker around. But when it comes to coming up with the good big ideas and strategic outlook, you do need your R&D department to
Yeah.
do that. I mean, AI has given Joe Consumer and Joe Worker the ability to do little innovation, but it still takes that
Yeah.
big innovation with the strategic mindset.
Yeah. Well,
But
and
in
people are
HR,
comfortable, right? People
Yeah,
fear the unknown. Our brain is not wired evolutionarily to, hey, the unknown, let's go jump into the dark.
right?
What
right.
do? Even in our own homes. I remember watching World War Z. I love that movie. And I'm going down the stairs. There's no such thing as a zombie. And you're like turning around the corner because you fear the unknown. And that's why I would say every C-suite needs at least one person who is like, I want to do everything. Now, obviously, the rest of the C-suite will tame them some, but you need those crazy, wild ideas to
Sure.
think
Hmm.
differently.
Right.
But in HR, there are other guardrails like
Absolutely.
regulation
Hmm.
and
Yep.
compliance and data privacy
Yep.
that, cause us to take a step back and say, what's the edge here that we're kind of putting our foot in?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we see now with the Workday court case still that it's actually now it's coming to light about how many people, how many companies just ceded control of their entire recruitment process to a technology they had no freaking idea how it was configured.
Yes. And
Right.
I agree. Like you'll find me ethical and responsible AI needs to be at the forefront. Like AI has the potential to really equalize and like the rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Right.
And lift society. But when you concentrate it and you're not visible and you're not transparent and in some cases go outside regulations and ethics just for that bottom dollar, I'm like, that's not what this should be. And I mean, is it what half of food goes to waste? There's enough clothing on the planet right now for 6 generations to be clothed. And what do we see? Areas of the world where people struggle. Why don't we use AI to optimize and supply chain and do all these things? And I hope that we do, because you should be operating within the parameters that are a benefit to society. That's for sure.
Well, the profit model
Yep.
causes that not to
Yeah.
exactly work that
Absolutely.
way.
Right.
And
100%.
all of us chasing bottom line numbers. And,
Yep.
we have ownership that require a return on their investment. And the banks want their return. And, it's Jordan, I wish we lived in a world where we could be
Absolutely.
altruistic.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
machines aren't going to get us there.
No. And like, it's one of those where when you look at it, if it can help 80%, at least it was better than 70, right? And
Right.
it's tough because no matter what sort of society you live in, the human nature kicks in and human nature gets bottled up. I would love to see Star Trek happen, right? Where the technology gets to this level of utopia to a degree, right? There's two dialogues that can be happening here: dystopia and utopia. Well, why aren't we just going for utopia? Like
How about
I don't.
dystopia, which
Yeah,
is, kind of halfway in between.
yeah. We're kind of in Topiaville. We'll call it
Well,
Topiaville.
right now we are.
We absolutely are.
Mm.
So it's one of those, like, I believe in the power. I am a very optimistic, upbeat
Sure.
guy, but I'm also realistic. And so hopefully through the work that I do and others are doing, we can make it so a lot of people
You're
benefit
here.
from this.
Hear, hear. However, it would be really awesome if we could at least solve something like unemployment or
Yeah.
underemployment or
Or cancer treatments is a big one
cancer
for
treatments.
me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Customized cancer
Yeah.
treatments that
Extending life
obviously I
and
don't know if we can
enhancing life.
eradicate it, but like I
Yeah.
lost my mom to it really quickly. So you're
Yeah.
just like, okay,
Right.
let's sit the AI and
Not too
really
long ago, by the way.
Yeah, not long ago. It was just in March. Yep.
Yeah.
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 But those are all outcomes, and those
Yes.
are all possible outcomes.
Yeah.
If people turn their attention to them, and to Dwight's point before, if people sitting behind a keyboard start asking the right questions.
Yep.
Right.
Completely agree. And that's, to me, where when we look at engineered intelligence, one of the best things a human could do is ask questions and figure out,
Right.
hey, this is a question, AI, here it is. Go
Yeah.
mine these massive amounts of data for answers and let us know what it says. And then instead
Yeah.
of profiteering off things like that, it becomes, oh, this is a supply chain thing that can
Yeah.
empower food. So let's
Right.
use
Right.
it so that it's cheaper, it operates smoother, and less people go hungry.
And I think we stand a good chance of having those sorts of innovations that come out because you look at how rapidly things are moving with AI, and you look at how rapidly life is changing now
Yeah,
with AI. And it's the good part is that we have good people in the world that not only have that sense of I want to make the world better, but they also have that curiosity of let me see what AI can do. Let me
Mm,
see what I can come up with.
right.
yep,
And you know, you take those two traits, put them together, and I think we will, in addition to all the other innovation that we're seeing in the world, I think we will start to see some of the innovation of how do we solve world hunger? How
agreed.
do we solve for people who are not clothed, and people who have no home at this point,
Yeah,
all
Right.
those kinds of things.
yeah,
So,
agreed. And there's always going to be those people that do it for the right reason. I
yeah,
mean, we've seen it in
yeah,
history. Yeah,
right.
Well, in the world of HR, the right reasons have historically been things like DE&I and pay
Hmm.
equity and underemployment, reskilling,
yep,
upskilling, things like that.
Hmm.
That good people turning in a direction to serve underserved people have lifted up those
right.
that have been disadvantaged, and that's not the political climate today.
It's not. Well, what I would say, it's not the political climate when you look at the media and things like that. But you will see, for example, there was a school in New York, I believe, where underprivileged, underserved, they brought in AI, and what would have been 6 months of tutoring was done in 2 weeks to empower these
Wow.
kids.
Hmm.
And so I do think you will see that. And I do think there is an underpinning feeling, at least in my mind, that when I travel the world like I do, a lot of people want the good to be done.
Good.
The
Hmm.
media and the political climates around the world put out clickbait, right? Click this.
Of
This is
course they
evil.
do.
This is awful. But
Yeah.
my travels would show me there's a lot more good and desire for good. And I travel all over. So that is a part of me that would be optimistic because the media's job is clicks, not necessarily positivity. And when I'm out and about, I see a lot of positivity.
Well, let's pray that your positivity results in a lot of people turning toward that good
Yep.
and using these new tools and techniques, especially in the world of HR, to help people get jobs, to help people train, to help
Yep.
people succeed. And not just, hey, what's the right model of employment here? So how many people do we have to let go in order for our profits to double next year?
Right. Well, I think there's a part of that you hit on already. The reskilling and upskilling, AI makes that so much simpler, right?
Yeah.
Your own
Hmm.
personal tutor that works directly with you, that can learn you and understand your strengths, your
Right.
weaknesses.
Hmm.
And that right there is, I helped pioneer data literacy, started in 2016.
Yeah.
Here we are, 2025, with tools that make it easier. I
Hmm.
never would have envisioned the possibilities with this sort of AI.
Well, and on that note, Jordan, we have yet come to an end of another HR
We'll
Digital
be back.
Enterprise
We're going to
program.
have to come
Yeah,
back.
we will. Yeah,
We will. So we'll have you
definitely.
back on again.
We're gonna have to make this a regular part of our
Yeah.
Totally
Actually, why don't
down.
you just join the
schedule.
series and
Awesome.
Yeah,
we'll just
Hey,
have you
exactly.
a regular
Let's get the
contributor.
three of
100%.
us.
I will join
Yeah,
whenever you need me to.
Excellent. All right.
sweet.
Well, thank you very much, Dwight.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us again today, Jordan.
My
Oh,
And
by
pleasure,
the
thank you,
Frank.
way,
Jordan.
I did read Co-Intelligence too
I
He was
after
like
very
you
it.
proud.
suggested
Thumbs up,
that.
thumbs down.
Oh, I loved it. David saw the output. As soon as I start to register
Oh my God,
thoughts,
his
which
head
it helped me
exploded.
do, oh my God, I would just boom, 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 boom,
I need to
boom.
message Ethan, who's the author, and say I need a lot of royalties because I recommend this
Yeah,
everywhere.
yep,
Yes. Thank you,
exactly. He
Jordan.
owes you for a one.
So
Thank you,
love
Jordan,
it.
and thank you everybody for listening and watching. And take care and stay safe.
Thank you.